there comes a time when you must stop looking for approval in others and start investing that energy in yourself. Your power lies not in chasing people, not in pleasing the world, but in focusing on your own growth, your own healing, and your own purpose. When you focus on you, life begins to align in ways you never imagined. Today, let's explore how staying centered on your path leads you to victory. Stop seeking validation from others, for the more you depend on their approval, the further you drift away from your own truth. So many of us spend years of our lives trying to please, impress, and win acceptance from those around us, often at the expense of our own happiness. We shape our choices around what will make others happy, what will keep the peace, or what will get us noticed. Yet deep down we feel an emptiness, a quiet longing that whispers, "What about me?" The moment you begin to ask that question, you are awakening to something powerful, the realization that true fulfillment does not come from their applause, but from your own alignment. There is a heavy cost to living for validation. It keeps you trapped in a cycle where your worth is conditional. You feel good when they say something nice. But the moment they criticize, doubt, or ignore you, your confidence crumbles. This is because you have handed over your inner power to external voices. Imagine being a flame that flickers based on the wind around it, constantly rising and falling, never steady. This is what happens when your self-esteem depends on how others see you. But what if you could be the sun instead, steady, radiant, unshaken, shining not because someone asked you to, but because that is who you are? The truth is, most people are too focused on their own struggles, insecurities, and ambitions to truly validate you in the way you hope for. Even when they do, their approval is fleeting, their attention temporary. It is like chasing shadows. You run, you stretch, you exhaust yourself, only to find it never lasts. That is why the journey of self-empowerment begins with this one choice: to stop seeking validation from others and begin building it within yourself. This does not mean you become cold, disconnected, or rebellious. It means you return to your center. You start asking yourself, does this make me feel alive? Does this align with who I want to be? Rather than, will they like me for this? Will they think I am enough? The people who are meant to walk with you will not need you to shrink, bend, or twist to gain their approval. They will respect the version of you who honors their own truth. When you stop seeking validation, you start making bolder choices. You choose the job that fulfills your soul instead of the one that only impresses a title. You wear the clothes that make you feel confident, not just the ones that will avoid judgment. You speak your truth in conversations, even if your voice shakes, because you know honesty will set you free. You learn that rejection is not a reflection of your lack. It is a signpost redirecting you to where your worth will be celebrated, not questioned. There will be moments when your decision to focus inward feels lonely. The old version of you, the one addicted to approval, will want to resurface, asking you to pose for attention, to agree when you don't, to stay quiet to keep the peace. But that is not growth. That is stagnation disguised as comfort. Growth often feels like isolation at first, because you are breaking a habit that was rooted in fear. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of being left out. Fear of not being loved. But here is the secret: the more you stand firm in your authenticity, the more your life attracts the right people, the right opportunities, and the right energy. Every time you choose yourself over validation, you strengthen your inner foundation. You start to see your own reflection differently, less needy, more powerful. You discover that the only real validation you ever needed was your own acknowledgement. I am worthy. I am enough. I am allowed to live for me. And from that place of strength, you naturally begin to radiate a confidence that is magnetic, not because you begged for attention, but because you no longer need it to feel whole. The world does not give lasting power to those who chase approval. It gives respect to those who respect themselves first. So let today be the day you stop handing out your worth for others to measure. Let today be the day you decide to measure it yourself, by your growth, by your courage, by your willingness to stand in your truth, even when it feels uncomfortable. Because the more you approve of you, the less you will crave it from them. And that right there is freedom. Protect your energy from distractions. Because your energy is your life force. It is the currency of your focus, your dreams, and your ability to create the life you desire. Every moment. You are either investing your energy into something that brings you closer to your purpose or leaking it into things that leave you feeling drained, scattered, and disconnected. The truth is, distractions are everywhere. They do not always appear as obvious obstacles. Often they disguise themselves as harmless habits, unnecessary commitments, or even people who constantly pull you away from your path. To live fully, you must learn the art of guarding your energy with the same intensity you guard your most precious treasures. Distractions come in many forms. They can be endless scrolling on social media, conversations that go nowhere, gossip that adds no value, or trying to fix everyone else's problems while neglecting your own. They can also come from overcommitting to things that don't align with your purpose. Saying yes when your soul is begging you to say no, or allowing your environment to dictate how you feel. The danger of distractions is not just that they waste your time, it is that they dilute your focus. And where focus goes, energy flows. If your attention is constantly divided, your dreams remain starved. There is a simple yet powerful truth: what you give your energy to grows. If you keep watering weeds, they will thrive, but your garden will remain bare. Likewise, if you keep feeding your energy into things that do not nourish your growth, your goals will wither in the background. Protecting your energy is about making conscious choices, moment by moment, day by day, to direct it toward what truly matters. This requires awareness. Begin by asking yourself regularly, does this add value to my life? Does it bring me peace? Does it move me closer to my highest vision? If the answer is no, it may be time to release it. One of the hardest parts of protecting your energy is realizing that not everyone and not everything can come with you on your journey. Some people thrive in chaos. And when you start to choose calm, they may not understand. Some habits were formed in times of survival, not growth, and letting them go can feel like losing a part of yourself. But every time you say no to something that drains you, you are saying yes to something that builds you. This is not selfishness, this is self-respect. It is the understanding that you cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot fulfill your purpose if you are constantly exhausted by distractions. Protecting your energy also means creating boundaries. Clear, firm, loving boundaries that shield your peace. Boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They let in what supports you and keep out what does not. This could mean turning off your phone during sacred times of work or rest. It could mean declining invitations that do not align with your goals. It could mean surrounding yourself with people who uplift you rather than drain you. Every boundary you set is a declaration that your energy matters. At first, this shift can feel uncomfortable. The world rewards business and constant availability. It tells you that to be worthy, you must always respond, always give, always say yes. But business is not the same as productivity, and availability is not the same as value. True power comes from being intentional with where you place your attention. When you protect your energy, You begin to operate from a place of clarity rather than chaos. You stop reacting to every noise and start responding only to what aligns with your path. Imagine your energy as a beam of light. The brighter and more focused it is, the more it can illuminate and transform. But scatter that light across too many places, and it becomes dim, weak, and ineffective. Your dreams deserve the full brightness of your focus, not the leftovers after distractions have taken their share. This is why protecting your energy is not just a practice. It is a commitment to your future self. As you learn to withdraw your energy from distractions, you will notice a shift. Peace becomes your default rather than your longing. Creativity flows because your mind is no longer cluttered with meaningless noise. Opportunities that match your vibration begin to appear because your energy is no longer leaking into what doesn't serve you. Most importantly, you feel powerful, not because you control everything, but because you finally control what you give your energy to. So today, choose wisely. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everyone deserves your time. Protect your energy from distractions because your life is shaped by where your energy flows. And when you start channeling it into your vision, your healing, your growth, and your joy, you will find that what once felt out of reach begins to come alive before your eyes. Build daily habits of self-investment, for they are the foundation upon which a fulfilling life is created. Too often people wait for a big breakthrough, a sudden change, or a moment of magic to transform their lives. They dream of the day when everything will fall into place, forgetting that real transformation is rarely the result of one massive leap. It is the result of small, intentional steps taken every single day. What you do consistently matters far more than what you do occasionally. Each choice, each routine, each habit is a seed you plant, and those seeds become the garden you live in tomorrow. Self-investment begins with the decision to prioritize yourself, not in a selfish way, but in a conscious, life-affirming way. It is saying, I matter enough to care for my mind, my body, and my spirit. This is not about waiting until you feel ready. It is about starting where you are and creating a rhythm that supports your growth. When you dedicate time to your own development each day, you send a powerful message to the universe. You are serious about your evolution, you are open to abundance, and you are willing to become the version of yourself that your dreams require. The beauty of daily habits is that they compound. A small positive action may feel insignificant in the moment, but over time it builds momentum. 5 minutes of mindful breathing each morning may not seem like much, but after weeks and months, it rewires your nervous system for calm. Reading a few pages of an inspiring book each night may feel minor, but it shifts your mindset and expands your awareness. Writing down 3 things you are grateful for each day may seem simple, but it changes your perspective and draws more good things to you. These are acts of self-investment, and like drops of water, they accumulate into oceans of change. Many people delay their growth because they expect the perfect time or the perfect plan. But waiting will only cost you more time. There is no need for perfection. What you need is consistency. Start with what you can manage, even if it feels small. 1 healthy meal a day. 10 minutes of movement. A few minutes of journaling your thoughts, replacing one negative thought with an empowering one. These are not dramatic gestures. They are silent commitments to your own well-being. It is also important to understand that self-investment is not just about productivity or success in the traditional sense. It is about nurturing all parts of you. Taking care of your physical body is self-investment, but so is healing emotional wounds. Learning a new skill is self-investment. But so is resting when your soul is weary. Setting boundaries to protect your energy is as valuable as pursuing a goal that excites you. The key is balance, honoring both your need for growth and your need for restoration. There will be days when you don't feel like doing it. There will be mornings when the bed feels too comfortable, evenings when your mind says, skip it today, start tomorrow. Those are the moments that matter most. Because every time you choose to follow through anyway, you strengthen your self-trust. You are teaching yourself that your promises to you are important. You are proving that your future matters more than your momentary comfort. Self-investment also requires you to stop seeing it as a burden and start seeing it as a privilege. It is not punishment to wake up early and meditate. It is a gift to give yourself stillness before the world asks for your energy. It is not a chore to spend time reading, learning, or exercising. It is an act of love for the version of you who wants to thrive. When you approach it with this mindset, you stop forcing and start flowing. Over time, these daily habits create an unshakable foundation. They make you resilient when life challenges you. They keep you steady when others lose their way. They turn hope into action and action into results. And most importantly, they build a relationship with yourself based on respect, care, and intentionality. You do not have to wait for someone else to invest in you. You do not need permission to begin. The power is already in your hands, and it begins with one choice, one habit, one day at a time. Commit to those small steps today, and in the months to come, you will look back and realize that everything you desired was built on the quiet, consistent practice of self-investment. Embrace patience as a power tool, for in a world that celebrates instant results and quick gratification, patience has become one of the rarest and most powerful strengths a person can possess. Everywhere you look, there are promises of overnight success, instant transformations, and rapid achievements. Yet, the most meaningful changes, the ones that last, are not born from rushing, they are born from steady, consistent, patient effort. Patience is not about waiting aimlessly. It is about trusting the timing of your journey and remaining committed even when results are not immediately visible. There is a quiet strength in being patient. It requires you to let go of control, to release the need to know how and when everything will happen, and instead to focus on the quality of your actions in the present moment. Think of nature. A tree does not grow overnight. It takes time for roots to dig deep and branches to stretch toward the sky. A flower does not bloom the moment the seed is planted. It takes nurturing, sunlight, water, and seasons to unfold its beauty. Your life works the same way. The goals you set, the dreams you carry, the healing you seek, all of it takes time to mature into form. Impatience, on the other hand, often leads to restlessness, frustration, and poor decisions. It makes you abandon what is working because it is not working fast enough. It convinces you that if results do not appear immediately, something must be wrong with you or your path. But most of the time, nothing is wrong. Growth is happening beneath the surface, in places you cannot yet see. The universe is rearranging circumstances, preparing opportunities, and building strength within you for the right moment. Patience allows you to stay aligned with that unseen process instead of sabotaging it with haste. To embrace patience as a power tool is to understand that every season has its purpose. There is a season for planting, a season for waiting, and a season for harvesting. If you rush the waiting season, you end up harvesting too soon, and what you reap will not sustain you. Patience teaches you to trust the process, to honor your own timing, and to believe that what you will not pass you by. It is a form of faith in action, not passive, but active faith that shows up, does the work, and releases the obsession with immediate rewards. Practicing patience also means being gentle with yourself. Too often, people carry the weight of unrealistic timelines, expecting to heal in a week, master a skill in a month, or build an entirely new life in a year. While quick changes are possible, they are rarely sustainable without the foundation of time and practice. Be patient with your growth. Every mistake you make is part of the lesson. Every delay is often a redirection. Every pause is sometimes protection. Life is not withholding from you, it is shaping you. One of the greatest benefits of patience is the clarity it brings. When you stop rushing, you start seeing more clearly. You notice opportunities you would have overlooked in your hurry. You make wiser decisions because you are no longer acting out of desperation but from alignment. You develop resilience because patience builds emotional strength, the kind that does not crumble when things take longer than expected. Patience is also deeply connected to trust. Trusting yourself, trusting your journey, and trusting the timing of life. There is an ease that comes when you know you are doing your part, and the rest will unfold in the right moment. You stop measuring your worth by how fast things happen and start valuing how aligned and meaningful they are when they do. This mindset frees you from the anxiety that comes from constantly checking the clock of life. There will be moments when you feel like nothing is moving, like all your effort is unnoticed or unrewarded. These are the moments where patience becomes your greatest ally. They are the moments that separate those who give up from those who break through. Remember, the seed does not stop growing because you cannot see the roots forming. The foundation often develops in silence before the results appear in full view. Embracing patience as a power tool means choosing to move forward step by step without demanding instant confirmation that everything will work out. It means celebrating the small progress, trusting the slow transformations, and finding peace in the process rather than only in the outcome. The most powerful people are rarely ones who rushed. They are the ones who persisted with quiet determination, day after day, year after year. So give yourself permission to slow down. Do the work with intention. Plant the seeds, nurture your vision, and allow time to do its sacred part. Patience is not a delay of your dreams. It is the bridge that carries them from idea to reality. When you master it, you stop chasing, you stop forcing, and you start attracting. Life flows better for those who do not rush its rhythm, but learn to dance with its timing. Silence comparison and celebrate progress. For comparison is one of the most silent thieves of joy, peace, and self-worth. In today's world, it is easier than ever to measure yourself against others. Their achievements, their appear milestones, their lives as they choose to display them. You see someone accomplishing what you dream of, and suddenly your journey feels too slow. You scroll through images of success and wonder if you are falling behind. But comparison is a trap because it blinds you to your own path and convinces you that your timing is wrong, your effort is not enough, and your worth is less than theirs. The truth is, no one is on your exact journey. No one carries your lessons, your challenges, or your unique purpose. Every time you compare yourself to someone else, you dishonor your own process. Progress is never linear and is never identical for two people. Some start fast and slow down. Others take time to find their rhythm and then soar. Just because someone else's chapter looks polished does not mean they did not endure countless drafts you never saw. You cannot see the nights they doubted themselves, the sacrifices they made, or the years they spent preparing for their breakthrough. And they cannot see yours. Comparison is built on illusions, often highlighting only the surface while hiding the deeper truth. When you silence comparison, you create space to see your own growth clearly. You begin to recognize the small victories you've been overlooking, because you were too busy measuring them against someone else's big wins. Did you take a step forward today, no matter how small? Did you heal a little more, learn a little more, try again when you could have quit? That is progress. It might not be loud, it might not come with applause, but it matters and it builds. Every great transformation began as a series of quiet, unnoticed steps that eventually became something remarkable. Celebrating progress is not about being complacent or settling for less. It is about acknowledging the effort and the journey. When you celebrate progress, you fuel your motivation. You create positive momentum. You affirm to yourself that what you are doing is working, even if the results are not yet fully visible. Think of it as watering a plant. You do not wait for it to bloom before you care for it. You nurture it daily, trusting that growth is happening beneath the soil. Your life works in the same way. It is also important to remember that progress is personal. What feels like a huge leap for someone else may be a simple step for you, and what feels like a tiny step for you may be a massive breakthrough for someone else. Stop measuring the size of your growth by someone else's standards. Instead, ask yourself, am I further than I was yesterday? Am I more aligned with the person I want to become? Am I living more intentionally than before? These questions keep your focus where it belongs, on your own evolution. Another hidden danger of comparison is that it often overlooks the sacrifices behind someone's success. You may admire their results, but not see the price they paid, the things they let go of, or the challenges they endured to get there. When you compare without knowing the full story, you create unnecessary suffering for yourself. Instead of asking, why am I not there? Begin asking, what am I creating today that will get me where I need to go? Shift from envy to inspiration, from judgment to curiosity, from lack to possibility. Celebrating your progress is also an act of self-love. It is choosing to honor your effort even when no one else claps. It is saying to yourself, I am proud of me for not giving up. I am proud of me for trying again. I am proud of me for growing even in silence. These small acknowledgments build your confidence. They remind you that you are capable, that you are moving, and that your journey has value. There will always be someone ahead of you and someone behind you. There will always be different timelines, different resources, different opportunities. But there will never be another you. That is why your only real competition is the person you were yesterday. If you are learning, healing, evolving, and showing up for your life, you are winning. And when you learn to find joy in your own progress, you become untouchable by the noise of comparison. So, release the need to measure your path against someone else's. Replace comparison with curiosity from their journey without belittling your own. Replace envy with gratitude. What do you already have that once felt impossible? Replace impatience with trust. What is unfolding for you right now? Even if it is not yet complete, every step you take matters, and every bit of progress you make is proof that you are moving toward the life you envision. The quiet truth is this: your journey is already working, even if it looks different than you expected. The more you celebrate progress, the more progress you will create. And the moment you silence comparison, you set yourself free to walk your own path with peace, joy, and the kind of success that feels real, not borrowed from someone else's life, but born from your own becoming. Anchor yourself in self-belief, because without it, even the most brilliant opportunities can pass you by, and even the most powerful plans can fall apart. Self-belief is the foundation upon which every dream is built. It is the quiet inner knowing that says, I am capable, I am worthy, I am enough, even when the world has not yet reflected that truth back to you. So many people wait for external proof before they believe in themselves. They wait for the promotion, the applause, the relationship, or the validation to give them permission to feel confident. But the truth is, belief comes first, proof follows. When you anchor yourself in self-belief, you stop needing others to confirm your worth. You stop begging for reassurance and start creating from a place of inner strength. You make decisions that align with your vision rather than your fears. You take risks, not because the path is guaranteed, but because you trust yourself to handle whatever comes. Self-belief does not mean you never doubt or feel afraid. It means you do not let that doubt or fear make your choices for you. It is the voice inside that whispers, "I try again," even after you've failed. It is the resilience that helps you rise, even when circumstances try to push you down. So often, we underestimate the power of the words we speak to ourselves. The inner dialogue you carry every day becomes the script of your life. If your thoughts constantly tell you that you are not good enough, you will find ways to confirm it. But if you begin to shift that dialogue, if you begin to tell yourself, "I am learning, I am growing, I am becoming stronger every day," your mind starts to align with that truth. Self-belief is not built overnight. It is cultivated through repetition, awareness, and choosing to see yourself through the lens of possibility rather than limitation. Anchoring yourself in self-belief also means letting go of the stories that were handed to you by others. Perhaps someone once told you that you were not smart enough, talented enough, or deserving enough. Perhaps life circumstances made you feel small or powerless. Those experiences may have shaped your perspective, but they do not define your future unless you keep carrying them. At some point, you must decide to become the author of your own story, not a character written by someone else's doubts. One of the most empowering shifts you can make is to stop asking, "Can I?" and start declaring, "I will." When you ask, "Can I?" you leave room for hesitation, for negotiation with your fear. But when you say, "I will," you activate your inner strength. You move with a sense of inevitability, as though the outcome is already forming because you have chosen it. That is the energy self-belief creates, not arrogance, but a quiet, steady certainty that you are capable of creating something meaningful. Life will test that belief. There will be setbacks, delays, and moments that challenge your confidence. But each test is an invitation to anchor deeper. Think of a tree with strong roots. It does not avoid the wind. It withstands it because its foundation runs deep. Your self-belief is those roots. The more you nurture them, the more storms you can face without losing your sense of self. And each time you overcome a challenge, your belief in yourself grows stronger, not weaker. Anchoring yourself in self-belief also shifts how you relate to others. When you truly believe in yourself, you stop seeking constant approval. You become less reactive to criticism because you know your worth does not depend on their opinions. You celebrate others' successes without feeling threatened because their shine does not dim your own. You set boundaries more easily because you no longer fear that saying no will make you less valuable. Self-belief makes you magnetic, not because you try to impress, but because people naturally gravitate towards someone who knows who they are. If you struggle with self-belief, start small. Speak kindly to yourself, even when you make mistakes. Keep the promises you make to yourself, even if no one else is watching. Surround yourself with voices, people, and environments that remind you of your potential, not your limitations. Write down the things you have overcome, the lessons you have learned, the strengths you have developed. They are proof that you are far more capable than your doubts want you to believe. With time, self-belief becomes less of a practice and more of a natural state. It becomes the anchor that keeps you steady when life feels uncertain, the compass that points you back to your truth when the world tries to distract you. And when you live from that place, your actions carry a different energy, one that attracts opportunities, relationships, and experiences that reflect your inner confidence. You are not here to convince the world of your worth. You are here to embody it. The moment you anchor yourself in self-belief, the world begins to respond in kind. Doors open, not because they were locked, but because you finally stopped standing outside waiting for permission to enter. You step forward, not because the fear disappears, but because your belief in yourself is stronger than the fear. And with each step, you become a living example of what happens when someone chooses to trust themselves fully, completely, and without apology.